Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Unscathed. As usual, I am your host, Edifin, and today we'll be talking about something quite interesting. Many people have lived their lives and they've been unable to understand what it means to have clarity in what they need to do, in what they're supposed to be doing. And so at the end of the day, they end up defining themselves according to the expectations of the people they look up to. Let's say you're an only child in a home, in a family. You may likely not know what you want to do for yourself or what you want to do for the society or for your generation, because your life, all your upbringing, all your growing up might just be defined according to the expectations that your parents have for you. And if you're someone who grew up fully depending on their approval, their validation, to have a sense of satisfaction for anything that you do, you would find out that you would grow up and you would not have a single thing that you thought of doing by yourself, for yourself, to give yourself fulfillment. And so for a little bit of context, I would like us to start from the very beginning. What is purpose identification? Usually, before you find your purpose, you need to understand what purpose actually is, because the word gets thrown around so casually that it has already lost its weight. Now, purpose at its most foundational level is not a career. It is not talent. It is not a passion. It is not even a calling in the way most motivational speakers mean it. Those things may express your purpose, but they are not your purpose itself. From my standpoint, I would say that purpose is the reason for which something exists. And that definition is deliberately simple because it is the simplest definition that is also completely true. A river exists to carry water from higher ground to lower ground. Its entire structure, the banks, the current, the depth, is organized around that reason for existing, which is to carry water from higher ground to lower ground. And so everything about it makes sense in light of what it is made to do. Now, let's apply that context to a human being. Purpose identification is the process of discovering the reason for which you, the unique you in particular, were brought into existence. It is not humanity in general, not your family line, not your generation, just you. The specific configuration of your personality, your experiences, your pain, your capacity, your timing in history, and your relationship with God, all of it pointing somewhere. You do not create your purpose the way you would create a business plan. You uncover it. It's just like the way a sculptor uncovers a figure that was always inside a stone. Michelangelo reportedly said that every block of stone has a statue inside it, and the sculptor's job is simply to remove everything that is not the statue. Now, purpose identification is that process applied to a human life. Why should you even want to know? Why should you know your purpose? This is actually the most important question, because a person who doesn't understand why purpose matters will never commit to the discomfort of finding it. So let's be very honest about this. While we're being honest about it, I need us to understand that everything I'm saying here is from research that I have done, my personal experience, my work with God, and from my standpoint of view. You're free to view it however way it suits your own unique self, right? So I believe you should want to know your purpose, because a life without identified purpose is like a life on reaction. It means you respond to whoever or whatever is loudest around you. You might be responding to your parents' expectations, your peers' choices, cultural pressure, financial desperation, social media's version of success. And because of this, you may end up living someone else's script and calling it your life. You finally get to the middle of your story and realize you don't recognize the character on the page. And this is not hypothetical. It is the lived reality of millions of people, and it produces a specific kind of emptiness that no amount of achievement, money, or relationship can fill. Because the emptiness is not from lack, it is from misalignment. The second reason you should tell yourself that you really want to know your purpose is because your design and your assignment are connected. Now, God did not make you the way you are by accident and then assign you something completely unrelated to your construction. The gifts you carry, the things that break your heart, the problems your mind naturally gravitates towards solving, the environment where you come alive, these things are not random. They are the diagnostic clues that you need. They are the manufacturer leaving traces of the product's intended function inside the product itself. So you see that it has been made easy for us to know what we need to do per time, right? And the Bible says in Romans 11 verse 29 that for God's gifts and his call are irrevocable. The gifts came with the call. They are not separable. Identifying your purpose begins with taking your own design seriously enough to study it. Now I'm going to our third reason why you need to know your purpose. You need to know your purpose because without it, you will always be vulnerable to other people's definitions of you. This is why social media has clouded so many people and given them a wrong idea of who they should be, of what success looks like. It brings us back to exactly what we started with. The reason people reshape themselves to fit the expectations of those they admire is at the roots because they have not yet answered the question of purpose for themselves. If you don't occupy the space of your own identity with something true, something false or moving, it is that simple. Every person who has ever let someone else define them did so partly because they had not done the work of defining themselves first. Not out of arrogance, but out of honest self-knowledge rooted in God's word. Because that is where it all begins. Purpose identification is the antidote to the identity borrowing that is happening in our society today. You cannot be talked out of who you are if you actually know who you are. So you see, now let's move to our fourth reason. You need to identify your purpose because it is the difference between existing and living. Ecclesiastes 3 verse 1 says, there is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens. The whole book of Ecclesiastes, it's Solomon's wrestling with the meaninglessness of life lived purely for its own pleasures and achievements. His conclusion, after trying everything, is that life without a vertical dimension, that without connection to something beyond self, is vanity. A vertical dimension now is your relationship with God, which helps you to understand what you need to do per time. And so without that connection, everything you do is just empty air. A man eating well, sleeping well, earning well, and still waking up with that sinking feeling deep within you. I used to have that feeling. I had everything I ever wanted, but I was just never satisfied with the life I was living. I felt like there was something more I needed to do, something more I needed to achieve. Viktor Frankl, from a completely secular psychological standpoint, arrived at the same place from a different direction. He watched men survive the Nazis' concentration camps. Not the physically strongest men, but the ones who had a reason to survive. Those with identified purpose endured conditions that killed others. He concluded that human beings can bear almost anything, anyhow, if they have a strong enough why. Purpose is your why. And this is so well connected, because if you do not know the reason you're doing a particular thing, when storms come, when high challenges come your way, it is so easy for you to give up at that time. It is easy for you to say, nah, this is not really my thing. Let me just switch to something else that works. But when you know the reason you started a particular journey in the first place, you would always want to figure out the best way to come out of that thing without bruises. Even when you come out of it with bruises, you will know that you went through that process for something worth your while. Our fifth reason why you need to know your purpose is because you owe it to the people your life is meant to serve. Every single person in life has someone that is connected to them, has people that are connected to their reason for existing. Your purpose is almost never only about you. It has a beneficiary. There are people, some of whom you have not yet met, whose lives are in some way connected to whether or not you figure this out. Gifts unused don't just harm the person who carries them unused. They create a deficit in the world that was supposed to receive them. And the Bible helps us to see this in 1 Corinthians chapter 12. It uses the image of the body, every part carrying a function that the whole body depends on. A hand that decides it doesn't need to know its function doesn't just inconvenience itself, it inconveniences everything the hand was supposed to do, to touch, to carry, to build, to heal. So what exactly are we identifying? When we talk about purpose identification, we are ultimately trying to answer 4 questions. Not all at once, not perfectly, but progressively, because you're not trying to figure this out 100% before you start. The first question you're trying to answer is, who am I? Who am I tells you your identity, your God-given nature, your values, your non-negotiable things about who you are wired, about how you are wired. The second question you're answering is, why am I here? This question helps you to understand your assignment, what you were specifically placed in this time, this culture, this family, this body to do or to be. The third question you're answering is, for whom? This question answers your audience. Every purpose has a direction. Who are the people your life is oriented towards serving, toward healing, toward building, and towards leading? The final question you're supposed to answer is, at what cost? This question answers your commitment. Purpose always requires sacrifice of something. Knowing your purpose means knowing what you're willing to give up and being at peace with that exchange. So here's the truth about where purpose identification actually begins. It doesn't begin with a grand revelation. It does not begin with a life-changing moment on a mountain. For most people, it begins with a single act of honest stillness. The willingness to stop performing, stop reacting, and stop running long enough to ask in genuine seriousness, God, who did you make me to be? That question, honestly, repeatedly, and with the patience to wait for an answer that comes in pieces rather than all at once, is the beginning of everything that we'll discuss in this series as we go deeper into this conversation. Now, we haven't even gotten to the how. But before the how, you need to know the what and the why, because a person who understands why they are searching will search very differently from a person just following instructions. And so, with that being said, we've come to the end of today's episode. I'm going to see you in our next recording, where we'll talk about why we define ourselves according to the expectations of others. I hope this episode has been educative. I hope with this episode you're able to understand why you should know your purpose. Everyone is meant to live a purposeful life, and it all starts with one step. You can't hear clearly when you're too busy talking. Sometimes clarity requires stillness. You need to be still enough what God is saying to you about who He wants you to be. And so with these few points of mine, I'd like to say thank you for listening. Share this episode with someone you think might need it. And I'll see you in our next episode. I'm still your host, Edifin. If you have any comments, you can leave them on our YouTube channel. Let's have a conversation from there. I'd like to know how this has helped you. Have a wonderful week ahead.